A few years ago, Klaus Clausen built a tool called the DataCannon, and the purpose was to rapidly generate days, weeks, or months of recordings for testing purposes. So what I'm going to show you here is a slight modification to that tool that enables filling the media database with playable JPEG data instead of empty frames, and a PowerShell wrapper to simplify the process of generating the configuration that's used by that tool. So I had the zip file here that I've already extracted. Inside is the script Invoke-DataCannon, and this is the DataCannon tool that Klaus built. And this is just some JPEG data that we're going to feed into the tool so that we have some data that we can play back in Smart Client. So without further ado, let's fill up the media database. I'll open up PowerShell, and the first thing I need to do is connect to the management server with Milestone PS Tools, and we're going to use that to generate the storage configuration that the DataCannon will use. So we'll do connect management server, and it's on the same machine, so I'll just hit enter. No need to provide an address. And then we'll use the get recorder or get recording server command to grab a recording server. And it's the only one I have, so it's just one recording server. And there's the definition of that recording server. So what we're going to do is take the storage configuration that's on this recording server, which is there's just one local default, and we're going to pass that into the Invoke-DataCannon command. So before I can do that, I need to import the Invoke-DataCannon function. So now that's loaded and I can use it. So recording server, storage folder, storages. And Invoke-DataCannon. And I'm going to use the -force switch because there are some recordings on the disk that will be deleted when I run this command. So if you don't include the force command, it's going to warn you and say you can't do this because you're going to delete data. So we'll force, and then I'm going to specify a folder with some JPEG data. So source image folder and chameleon, and that should do it. I'm going to ignore the archive. So by default, it's going to fill up the live and the archive. So you can choose to exclude either the live or the archive. So I will exclude archives just in the interest of time. So while it's filling up the media database, what that has done was it's taken the storage configuration and it's generated an XML file for the DataCannon tool to use. So that's here, configuration.xml. And it'll be a little slow because the storage on this VM is very busy at the moment. Okay, and rather than wait for this, oh, there it is. Rather than wait for the DataCannon to completely fill the media database, I'm just going to interrupt it. And then we can show the in Smart Client how it's generated some playable data. So the recording server stopped. Let me start that up. All right, there's our data. So the behavior by default is um, to fill up the live and all of the archives of the storage configuration that you send to the Invoke-DataCannon command. You can pick and choose which storage configurations in case you have multiple, and you can ignore either the live or the archives. You can use any JPEG data to fill the media database, and what it'll do is find all of the JPEGs in the folder, sort them by name, and then just each frame will be a unique image, and it'll loop over and over. So let me know if you have any questions.